approach. Imagine waking up to the sound of thousands of paddles hitting the water at once. This isn't a myth, and it isn't a legend lost to time. This was a living, breathing reality. A city built entirely on water, larger, cleaner, and more organized than almost any European capital of its era. This was Tenochtitlan. Long before the Spanish arrived, this island metropolis rose from the center of Lake Texcoco. It wasn't just a settlement. It was an engineering masterpiece. 3 massive stone causeways connected the island to the mainland, stretching for miles across the water, so wide that 8 horsemen could ride abreast. But the heartbeat of this city wasn't found in its palaces or its temples. It was found in the pulse of its commerce. The great market of Tlatelolco. Every morning, as the mist cleared from the lake, a tide of humanity flowed toward the sister city of Tlatelolco. It is estimated that between 20,000 and 60,000 people gathered here daily. This was not a chaotic bazaar. It was a masterpiece of urban planning. Imagine a space so vast it dwarfed the plazas of Rome or Seville. It was a grid of absolute order. The textiles, sections dedicated to cotton from the lowlands, woven into intricate patterns with rabbit fur and bright dyes. The tools, rows of obsidian, blades glass-like, stones sharper than any European steel of the time. The pharmacy, vendors selling thousands of medicinal herbs, roots, and ointments, many of which are still used in modern pharmacology today. The Spanish chronicler Bernal Diaz del Castillo wrote that he was astounded by the sheer variety. He had seen the world, but he had never seen anything like this. If you want to explore more ancient worlds reconstructed beyond myths and stereotypes, subscribe now and stay with us. The Economy of the Bean. In Tenochtitlan endidum fro entries, cacao beans served as the primary currency, along with quatchly standardized pieces of fine cotton cloth. But with this scale came the need for law. This wasn't a free-for-all, it was a regulated economy. Judges, known as pochteka, sat in a special tribunal at the end of the plaza. They didn't just watch, they enforced weights and measures. If a merchant tried to cheat a customer or sell a fraudulent product, the punishment was swift and public. It was a society built on the sacredness of the fair exchange. The floating gardens, engineering survival. How did an island city feed 200,000 people? The answer lies beneath your feet, the chinampas. These weren't just floating gardens, they were sophisticated artificial islands created by layering mud and vegetation, held together by the roots of willow trees. This allowed for up to 7 harvests a year. While Europe struggled with famine and plague, the Aztecs were masters of sustainable agriculture. They didn't just live on the water, they made the water provide life. Beyond the warrior myth. We are often told that the Aztecs were defined only by warfare or ritual. That is a hollow perspective. The true soul of the city was found in the cooperation of the everyday. It was in the artisan who spent months perfecting a turquoise mask. It was in the mother teaching her child how to navigate the canals by canoe. It was in the merchant who traveled thousands of miles across mountains and jungles to bring back exotic quetzal feathers. This was a civilization of scholars, poets, engineers, and accountants. It was a society that prioritized public hygiene, with a complex system of waste management and freshwater aqueducts that would have been alien to the crowded, sewage-filled streets of 16th century London. The golden hour. As the sun began to dip below the volcanic peaks of the valley, the rhythm of the city shifted, the heavy traffic of the canoes slowed. The vendors packed their unsold goods, and the roar of the crowd turned into a hum. In this moment of peace, Tenochtitlan looked like a dreamer city of white stone and green gardens reflected in the mirror of the lake. It was a world of order, beauty, and incredible efficiency. A world that worked perfectly until the early 16th century, when a different kind of visitor arrived at the gates. But before conquest, before collapse, before destruction, this was the largest market of the ancient world, alive, structured, and thriving in the middle of a lake.